Alex Revell, another 90 minutes under the belt this pre-season. What do you think of the performance?
I thought that we started fantastically well. I thought that we dominated the first 15 minutes really and scored a really good goal and took the game to them and we really showed our kind of attacking powers. And then obviously the biggest outcome of the whole game is that mistakes cost you goals and cost you games because going from cruising really and really playing well and pressing and playing some really good football, all of a sudden you're 2-1 down from a penalty that shouldn't even be anywhere near our box, and then a corner that we don't get our press right, and then all of a sudden we concede from a corner which for what we are that should never happen, and then the third goal, it's our corner, it comes out, we try a dribble, get caught, and good players punish you. And then after that, it was difficult. We hit the post and we huffed and puffed at times. But the reason why we pick these games is because they're good games for us. It's a massive learning part for us, and to play against good players and good teams that move the ball quickly, you've got to work extremely hard, and that's what we've done.
And that's what pre-season's for, is ironing out those mistakes.
Yeah, of course you want to win, but you also want to be tested, and you want to play good teams. And these are a really good team. They've been knocking on the door of the Premier League for the last few years, and FA Cup semi-final. We know that, but they've come on and they've come down here and brought a really good team. And for us personally, it's a really good test. Ultimately, that's what it's all about: getting the minutes in, making sure we don't get any injuries, and learning from each game. And ultimately, it doesn't matter what shape you play, it doesn't matter who your personnel are. If you make mistakes, you get punished, especially against the top teams. And that's a big learning thing for us.
But also positives to take, like that last half an hour, they got stronger, you got younger, but they still had their own.
Yeah, absolutely. There's loads of positives, of course there are. And ultimately, we've played a team and they've had chances. And but ultimately, the 3 goals are from mistakes. Apart from that, like I said, the start was fantastic. Louis appear hitting the post just after, obviously their second is a big moment, but the youngsters coming on is what we've been doing all pre-season, and they held their own against some top players. But listen, it's a really good test for us tonight, and we finish the game and we'll look over it and we'll learn from it and make sure that when we start, we've learned from these mistakes and cut them out for the start of the season.
About halfway through pre-season now, happy with where you're at?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we're now starting to get to the harder minutes and pushing people, and you have to build them up, and that's what we're trying to do now. Players got through 90 today. We've still got a few games left to make sure that we iron out that and make sure that all the players have at least probably 90 minutes under their belt by the time we start the season. And you're starting to see connections, you're starting to see combinations, you're starting to see players really come out of themselves. So for us, it's we've still got a bit of time left to make sure that we keep the work going and like I said, learn from each game that we play, because that's why we do it. That's why we're putting these games on for us to make sure that we're better.
And you talk about connections, just a mention of Harvey White and Dan Phillips in that midfield, who really impressed, especially in the first half today.
Yeah, absolutely. The first 20 minutes, I thought that Dan Phillips showed his power and pace and his interceptions and got forward. We pushed him slightly forward today to make sure that he got those opportunities, and scored a fantastic goal, which we have to get more of. And Harvey White, we've always known Harvey's got ability, and we always know that he's got that. Can he do the uglier side of the game? Is always going to be his challenge, to make sure that he understands that side, and he's really developing that. But listen, there's still a few mistakes. There's tiredness. There's at times we made wrong decisions, i.e. the goals. But it's the best thing to do now is for all the players. We've come through 90 minutes against a really strong team, scored a goal, could have scored more. And the only thing we can do now is make sure that next time we play, we learn from those mistakes. It doesn't happen.
That's great. Thank you, refs.